What's going on, guys? This is Mike Cwierz from Examiner.com here with Lindsay and Jordan from Rooster Teeth at RTX 2015. So, guys, how's it going so far?
That's amazing. We were just saying it's incredible to have so many fans who are just interested in seeing us, and over the years we've been building and growing so much, and to see this many people here to see, especially X-ray and Vav, a show that we work on, is insane. It's very humbling. We love it.
Yeah. It's crazy to see how RTX continues to grow every year. It's like, well, how are we going to make it even bigger? And then we got 2 hotels now, yeah. So we've expanded, so it's crazy.
Right, and now, of course, we have RTX Australia, too, so we're moving international.
Overseas?
Yeah.
Nice. What's your favorite event been so far?
Ooh, that's a good question. I still love doing all the panels, and a lot of the stuff that we show at panels are stuff that I haven't even had a chance to look at yet. So some of the Ruby stuff that they showed, I was like, oh, this is my first time seeing this. This is incredible.
Yeah.
Same with some of the X-ray and Vav scenes that we showed as new animation that I haven't seen before. So that's the best part, is experiencing it with the audience at the first viewing.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like seeing you kind of gauge yourself, gauge the audience, be like, all right, are they gonna laugh at this joke? Okay, they laughed. Okay, good.
Yes.
All right, everything's okay. They like this part. We're doing a good job.
We're clear.
Yeah.
Nice. So how did you guys even get started with the idea of X-ray and Vav? They already had the running gag, but what made you think, well, this would be a fun idea for a series?
Well, Jordan sent out an email to the company just kind of looking for a one-off RTA that he could do. And I thought, it'd be funny if X-ray and Vav did an adventure. Maybe they could be saving the podcast from an evil villain. So I emailed him back about that, and we got together and just kind of started writing about that concept. We recorded the entire thing, had it done, and gave the idea to Matt and said, listen, we recorded it. Here's what we have. He said, this is great, but, we could expand on this and make it an entire new show if we wanted with a different art style.
Yeah.
And,
that's... Yeah, they were thinking it could be its own thing, outside of even the realm of the Rooster Teeth podcast and stuff like that. So it's just have them be superheroes, and we're like, it's actually a really fun idea. So we got to play around with that. Yeah. This is what we came up with.
Yeah, no, it's been looking great. So this season, obviously, you guys tried to do a little bit something different, introducing new characters. So a lot of the stuff that I've seen with X-ray and Vav has been kind of like nods to other Rooster Teeth products. So how do you guys balance between, trying to create a good story structure and then at the same time trying to do a little bit of fan service as well?
Well, the show in general is obviously is based a lot on tropes, because it's a Saturday morning cartoon playing off of that.
Right.
So some of that we pull from and kind of can relate to a lot of audience members, even if they're not familiar with Achievement Hunter or Rooster Teeth in general.
Right.
I know for the first season we had people saying, I was watching the show and my friend happened to be looking over and said, what is this? They got into it and they loved it, and they had no idea what any of the inside jokes were. So we think we already had that base of reaching out to people who weren't familiar with our content. But now, as we expanded to the next season, we can go even further with that, bringing in new characters, new plot developments that have zero to do with Rooster Teeth. Obviously, we still keep those nods, and fans will love that.
It's kind of inescapable because it's based on an insane inside joke anyway.
Right.
And fans will always be looking at even if we don't try to make a reference, they'll be like, oh, that's a reference to something. And Lindsay and Elsie would be like, didn't even think of that, but you're right. Yeah.
Yes, of course it is.
We meant to do that.
Yeah.
So just kind of moving forward a little bit, what do you guys expect to do with the rest of the season of X-ray and Vav, and then perhaps moving forward?
Ooh, well, Jordan had touched on it a little bit as far as when we first talked about the season. It'd be a mystery plot going throughout the entire arc. But along with that, I mean, possibilities are limitless at this point. We can bring in whatever characters we want. We can bring in whatever devices we want, whatever jokes.
Yeah.
So it's only going to get bigger and better, is what I will say.
Yeah. We always have to top ourselves.
Yeah. Without revealing too much.
Right. Yeah.
Bigger and better.
That's the nice thing about the superhero genre as well, is that you can kind of toy around in that little area. You can always go bigger.
You can get away with anything.
Yeah.
With a character like Superman out there, you could always go bigger.
Oh yeah. Well,
eventually, X-ray and Vav will end up in space.
Yes. That's the end.
Time travel, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how would you say that X-ray and Vav kind of stack up to the other superheroes out there? What separates them perhaps from other characters, aside from their vocabulary, I suppose?
Their charm, absolutely.
They certainly mean well. I mean, they just don't have the best execution all the time. They're not so much like the heroes who will save the day. They'll just be like the heroes that'll get in the way and kind of mess everything up, and then they'll fix it. So they got that extra charm to them.
Yeah, and of course it's always we clearly played a lot of the characters off of the Ray and Gavin, even though they're not technically Ray and Gavin, they are X-ray and Vav. But I think that brings some of their uniqueness to it, is that a lot of their personality is brought into the characters. So this is something we haven't seen before.
Right.
Yeah.
So Lindsay, can we see your character kind of getting a little bit more involved with some of the hero business moving forward?
You might see some stuff a little bit later in this season.
We're toying around with some ideas.
Yeah, the badass character developing a little bit more.
Yeah,
Nice.
absolutely.
Nice, that's awesome. So any ideas that you had that you haven't done yet, but maybe you want to introduce in there, or maybe even ideas that you wanted to introduce previously but just weren't able to?
That's a constant struggle where it's like, oh, this is a really good idea. It would be fun to do this, but there's nowhere to put it in like, this story right now. So
unless we rush it and shove it all in.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we've got a bunch of ideas for like season 3 and season 4. So
we were just talking about that on the panel. Actually, we have ideas for a bunch of characters we want to bring in that we haven't done so yet, or same thing like jokes for Achievement Hunter that we would like to have referenced. So it's again, possibilities are limitless. So hopefully in like season 10 we'll run out of ideas, right?
Do you guys have any favorite moments from the series in particular?
That's always hard because they're like my children.
Which one's your favorite child?
The fan fiction episode with Dragonface was probably one of our most hilarious episodes, I think.
Yeah, that's a great one. Actually, this morning the episode with Flint Cole aired, and that's one that I really like a lot too. Some of the animation choices are fantastic.
Yeah,
so
the black and white gags.
It's great. Yeah, it's amazing.
Great. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to talk to us today.
Of course. Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So again, this has been Mike Hughes here at RTX 2015 with Jordan and Lindsay. So we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
See ya.